Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Wednesday, February 22nd edition of our video devotionals. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is what we call Winning Wednesday. It is the middle part of the work week and school week, and of course, Wednesday evening church services for those who are able to attend. Well, I'm going to read a little bit more lengthy scriptures today, so I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here. But I do want to say each time, thank you for all who watch the videos. We appreciate you very much, and appreciate all those who go up way back and those who've just kind of jumped on with us here recently. Well, we're reading from our Today book. February 22nd, 1879, the first F.W. Woolworth store was opened. Of course, we refer to those as the 5 and 10 cent stores. And of course, I'm guessing Woolworths is no longer in business. I don't know that for sure, but pretty sure. I can remember as a kid seeing a Woolworths store, and I'm not sure how long it existed after that, but I was a kid and I saw it. And I guess maybe it was starting to lose its value, I guess, because the malls were coming in and the big box stores and so on. All right, then in 1732, the birthday of George Washington. And of course, that's what I think February 22nd is most known for. Well, we just celebrated or observed, I guess is the word, President's Day. So Abraham Lincoln, let's see here, George Washington, I believe Ronald Reagan, all were born in the month of February. That's the ones that I know of. But anyway, perhaps the reason why we have President's Day. So we'll stop right there, and then we're going to jump into the Bible here. We're going to be in Numbers chapter 22, kind of a lengthy story. We're going to talk about Balaam today. Balaam, Balak, and the talking donkey. And so let me read you some scriptures here, and then we'll move right along here. Okay, so the children of Israel, of course, have left Egypt. They're in the wilderness. They already know their fate is to be 40 years and in the wilderness. They've won a couple of big battles, as I was reading, and then we have this situation about the Moabites and Balak. So let me start here, verse number 4. It says, "And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time." So he's referring to Israel and what he has seen them do. Verse 5, "He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me." All right, so we're going to skip just a little bit here. Verse 7, "And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And God came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee? And Balaam said unto God, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, hath sent unto me, saying," and of course he talks about there's a people that should be cursed. Verse 12, "And God said unto Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, Get you into your land, for the Lord refuseth to give me leave to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak and said, Balaam refused to come with us." Now, at this point, I'm going to kind of condense some things more. So I don't know who Balaam is to start with. He was this prophet, so to speak, or this soothsayer. But at any rate, they came to Balaam thinking, we're going to hire this guy, and we're going to get him to curse the people. And these happen to be the people of God. So they show up, and Balaam says, well, I got to go talk to God. It seems like, I don't know what the connection was there. It seems like he didn't know about the children of Israel, didn't know about Moses, and yet he knows God. And God came to him and said, don't go with these people and do not curse these people. He gets up and says, look, this is what God told me. Have a nice day, so to speak. And they left. Well, they don't stop there. They go to the king. The king says, all right, we'll send more honorable people. We'll send a bigger reward. And they show up to Balaam's house. All right, so notice here in verse number 17, here's one of the things he said. This will get his attention. The king speaking of Balaam. "For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people." He says, well, I'll make you a big shot, so to speak. And of course, Balaam said in verse 18, "I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more." Verse 19, "Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say to me more." here's where it gets really, we start to understand the character of Balaam. You look at that and say, well, here's a man that just keeps saying, well, I got to see what God says. God told him the first time, do not go with these people and do not curse these people. They show up again. He says, well, you just wait here and tarry here, and I'll go to God again. And what does God say here? And God came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shalt thou do. And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. And God's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his two servants were with him. Here's where the story gets real interesting here. Now you look at the story, all right? So Balaam goes to God again and says, God, I'm going to ask you again. And God says, go with them. But the word that I have spoken unto you, that shalt thou do. Balaam gets up and says, I'm coming with you. God was angry with Balaam. You see, what Balaam should have understood, God wasn't changing his mind. God was trying to tell Balaam, what did I tell you the first time, so to speak? I told you that's what stands. That's not going to change. Balaam in his heart wanted God to change his mind. Balaam wanted to go with these people. I think he was very enticed by the title and by the position they would have done. I think the things they would give him, I think he thought, wow, look at me. Look, the king of Moab wants to be with me. So sure enough, Balaam goes with him. But God had prepared this angel that was going to kill Balaam. And Balaam's donkey sees this. And he kind of bails on him, and finally Balaam gets mad and wants to kill his donkey, and the donkey starts talking to him. Finally, God opens up his eyes and said, well, you see, there's an angel right there. He's intending to kill you, and your donkey's trying to tell you, don't go. And of course, Balaam kind of acts, well, I'm sorry, and I should have known better. But guess what Balaam does? He just keeps on going. Now, we'll kind of finish this story tomorrow, at least a good portion of it. But here's the thing. There's things that God tells us, and when God tells us there's things, he's just not going to change his mind. I could give you many, many examples. But here's the thing. You got to be very careful about wanting something so bad that you're not supposed to have, or God's already said you're not supposed to do it, and you keep coming to God and perhaps even whining about it. Well, God, come on, please, please, please. It's kind of like, we as kids, mom and dad say, no, that's not going to happen. And we're talking about something that would be of between right and wrong type of thing. And the kid keeps wearing. Finally, what ends up happening is mom and dad kind of lower the boom, so to speak. And they said, look, I told you, don't ask me again. God says, look, you shouldn't have asked me again, Balaam. You should have told these people when they shut up the second time, I'm not interested. I told you to leave. I'm not going to do it. God told me not to go with you. God told me not to curse these people. So as we look at the story tomorrow, and I know some of you are familiar with it, it's just a great, great principle to understand that God meant what he said. And when you've got wrong in your heart and you're using as a crutch, if you please, well, let me go and ask and see what God wants this time. Let me go again and just make sure. In this case, God says, I'm sure, and you shouldn't have done it. God was angry and would have killed Balaam had it not been for his donkey. And imagine having a conversation with your donkey like that. Imagine you not wanting to do something that God wants you to do, and your dog starts talking and say, look, you better listen up. You're not supposed to do that. Wouldn't that be something? So there's the story. We're going to at least get close to finishing tomorrow, perhaps finish it tomorrow. And so let's be careful about wanting something so bad that we're not supposed to have, and going to God and saying, God, please. And God says, no, it's not right. And basically, you shouldn't be asking anymore. I've given you your answer. And there's certainly times that is the case. In this case, it was. So, hope you have a great day today. And we'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Be safe and be healthy as best you can. And have a great day.